Excerpt 11. I will constantly use compassion to uproot the misery of sentient beings and to awaken the boundless beings who are suffering. Constantly refers to time, and boundless refers to space. Time and space cover all manner of beings. Amitabha Buddha, out of great compassion, wants to teach and help all the beings in all the Dharma realms. Excerpt 12. If one wholeheartedly seeks the way and ceaselessly makes focused and diligent progress, one will surely attain Buddhahood. There is no wish that one cannot fulfill. It is difficult to attain the way. When one can attain what is difficult, one can surely attain everything else. But one must first know the principles and methods of seeking. The principles lie in the word wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly means having a true sincere mind, that is, one with the utmost sincerity. Mr. Zheng Guofan once said, "Not having a single thought arise is called sincerity." Master Huineng said, "Originally, there was nothing at all." This describes the true mind. If one seeks the way with this mind, one will attain what one seeks because everything in the world is generated by the true mind. Buddhas and bodhisattvas have extraordinary powers and can make boundless treasures appear. Why is it that they can do so but we cannot? Because their minds are the true mind and ours are the false mind. The true mind can create everything. Everything in the 10 Dharma realms is created by the true mind. The Mahayana Sutras say, all phenomena are created by the true mind and altered by the consciousness. The beings in the Western Pure Land make food and clothing appear at will. This is because their minds are pure. A pure mind is the true mind. Today, we have numerous wandering thoughts, afflictions, worries, and concerns. We do not have the true mind. The wholeheartedly is important. Learning and practicing Buddhism is nothing other than letting go of wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments. When one does so, the true mind will manifest. It is true that, in Buddhism, every wish can be fulfilled. Ceaselessly make focused and diligent progress. This is how one should seek. When one makes progress, one will not go backward. Focused means heading in one direction and towards one goal. Be it Buddhism or worldly pursuits, one will surely succeed in one's seeking. There are many Buddhist practitioners who seek progress in their cultivation but have little success. What is the reason? They learn too many things, and the things they learn are too varied. They are not making focused and diligent progress. Instead, the progress they make is unfocused. This is why their efforts are to no avail. There are many sutras. From the aspect of principle, every method is number one. All methods are equal, and no one method is superior or inferior to another. But from the aspect of phenomena, every person's capacity, intelligence, and living environment differ. They find some methods easier to learn and practice, and others harder. Hence, the question of easiness or difficulty does not lie in the methods. It lies in a person's capacity and living environment. The Buddha name chanting method is suitable for everyone to learn and practice regardless of one's capacity. Other methods such as Zen meditation and Tibetan Buddhism are not as easy for one to learn and practice. The Buddha name chanting method is simple and convenient. It does not matter whether one has a Buddha image at home or if one has flowers to offer. Everyone can learn and practice. This method does not emphasize appearances or learning environment. It is the most convenient method. Everyone has a different capacity. If one forces oneself to learn an unsuitable method, one will have a difficult time. But if one learns a method that one is interested in, then the learning will be easier. Will one be able to attain rebirth in the Western Pure Land if one practices another method? Yes, one will. It is clearly stated in the Infinite Life Sutra that if a practitioner of another method dedicates merits to be reborn in the Western Pure Land, he or she will attain rebirth there. From this we can see that Amitabha Buddha did not say that one has to learn the Infinite Life Sutra and mindfully chant Ama Tuofo to achieve rebirth in the Western Pure Land. Regardless of which method one learns and practices, one must be able to suppress one's afflictions and vow to seek rebirth in the land of ultimate bliss, where one will be close to Amitabha Buddha. If one cannot suppress one's afflictions, one will not be able to attain rebirth there. This is the true requirement. As long as we grasp the principle of focused and diligent progress, we will surely achieve in our practice. Ancient accomplished practitioners said that mastering one is more important than studying many. It is also said, when one masters one sutra, one naturally masters all sutras. If we want to have a deep understanding of the Buddhist canon, what should we do? Should we learn many, or delve deeply into one method? Historically, many of those who delved deeply into one method achieved in their learning and practice. Of those who learned many methods, very few succeeded in their cultivation. Those who learned a variety of methods and succeeded were exceptionally talented. People who have a medium or low capacity do not have the ability to learn many methods and succeed. Therefore, we should delve deeply into one method. If one ceaselessly makes focused and diligent progress, one will surely attain Buddhahood. There is no wish that one cannot fulfill. If we understand the principles and methods, we will be able to fulfill any wish. Be it academics, one's work, or a Buddhist practitioner's cultivation, applying this principle and method will lead to complete success. It will not be hard to accomplish any undertaking in this world or beyond if we have a sincere mind. What makes it difficult is our deviated thoughts. Obstacles are created by us. Indeed, no phenomena exist outside the mind. The mind does not exist outside any phenomena. We must understand this. Excerpt 13. Dharmakara heard the Buddha's discourse and saw everything shown to him. He aspired to make supreme, wondrous vows. He thoroughly contemplated what was good and bad about heavenly and human beings and what was wonderful and inferior about their lands. He single-mindedly selected what he wanted and formed his great vows. For 5 kalpas, he diligently sought and explored, respectfully and carefully persevered, and cultivated merits and virtues. He thoroughly understood all the merits and adornments of the 21 kodas of Buddha lands as thoroughly as he understood one Buddha land. The Buddha land he created surpassed all Buddha lands. Dharmakara heard the Buddha's discourse. Dharmakara was the Dharma name of Amitabha Buddha. At the causal stage, when he was a bhiksu, heard refers to listening to his teacher's introduction. Here, Buddha refers to Lokeshvaraja Tathagata, Dharmakara Bodhisattva's teacher. Dharmakara Bodhisattva told his teacher about his aspirations and asked his teacher to teach him how to fulfill them. When a student has a virtuous and great aspiration, the teacher will always wholeheartedly help the student accomplish it. Therefore, Lokeshvaraja Tathagata not only explained to Dharmakara what he wanted to know but also used extraordinary powers to display the Buddha lands in the 10 directions to him, and that allowed him to see them clearly. At the beginning of the Visualization Sutra, a similar situation is described, which was the cause of Sakyamuni Buddha speaking the sutra. Queen Vaidehi encountered family misfortunes. Her son killed his father the king, harmed her, and usurped the throne. Having encountered such great misfortune, she became disheartened and asked Sakyamuni Buddha if there was a better and safer place where she could be reborn. Instead of directing her, to one specific Buddha land. Sakyamuni Buddha displayed all the Buddha lands in the 10 directions for her to choose from. This was the same method that Lokeshvararaja Tathagata employed for Dharmakara Bodhisattva. Queen Vaidehi chose Amitabha Buddha's Western Pure Land. And then Sakyamuni Buddha taught her the method to attain rebirth in the land of ultimate bliss. This is essentially the content of the Visualization Sutra. Lokeshvararaja Tathagata displayed all the Buddha lands in the 10 directions to Dharmakara Bodhisattva. After seeing all these, he aspired to make supreme, wondrous vows. He thoroughly contemplated what was good and bad about their heavenly and human beings and what was wonderful and inferior about the lands. There refers to all the Buddha lands in the 10 directions. In the 6 paths in all Buddha lands there were good and bad beings. This is talking about the living environment, which involves living beings and situations. The land of ultimate bliss did not come from Amitabha Buddha's baseless imagination or dreams. He truly saw many Buddha lands, and they all differed vastly from one another. Some lands were very wonderful, and others had many shortcomings. What was wonderful and inferior about those lands refers to the material environment, which involves inanimate things. Inferior refers to a very bad environment. Wonderful refers to a very good and beautiful environment. The environment of every being is different. The causes every being creates are different and result in different effects, environments. Dharmakara Bodhisattva understood the principles and truths. He thoroughly contemplated. He single-mindedly selected what he wanted and formed his great vows. How was the Western Pure Land created? Dharmakara Bodhisattva visited various Buddha lands and adopted their strengths and rejected their shortcomings. In other words, the land of ultimate bliss is an amalgamation of the excellent qualities of all the Buddha lands. He saw that all the Buddha lands in the 10 directions had 6 paths, and the suffering was tremendously intense, especially in the 3 evil paths. Thus he wanted his first vow to be that there would be no 3 evil paths in the land he would create. This is how this great vow came to be. The Chinese often say, read 10,000 books, travel 10,000 miles. Listening to lectures on the sutras is like reading books, and seeing all the Buddha lands is like traveling 10,000 miles. Because he heard with his own ears and saw with his own eyes, Dharmakara Bodhisattva's knowledge and wisdom were true. He had such abundant knowledge and experience that he was able, by selection, to create his own land. This was how the land of ultimate bliss came about. The causes and conditions for how the land of ultimate bliss came about were different from those for the other Buddha lands. The causes and conditions for the latter were complicated and not simple. Good ones and bad ones were mixed together. In the Western Pure Land, Dharmakara chose only pure and virtuous dharmas. His purpose was to provide a wonderful learning and practice environment for the beings from all the Buddha lands in the 10 directions, who truly generate the great mind and who aspire to understand and transcend the cycle of birth and death, and attain Buddhahood in one lifetime. He wanted to provide the best learning and living environment. For 5 kalpas, he diligently sought and explored, respectfully and carefully persevered, and cultivated merits and virtues. The words sought and explored mean that one needs to clearly recognize and understand the virtuous dharmas and the bad dharmas, and the good and bad retributions. And then one needs to end all wrongdoings and to cultivate all virtues. The words respectfully and carefully persevered mean that one needs to be respectful when interacting with people and engaging in tasks. A respectful mind is the true mind. In addition to being respectful, one needs to carefully persevere, so that one will not lose what one has learned and practiced. The word cultivated means correcting one's faults and applying one's learning to life. 5 kalpas is the time Dharmakara spent cultivating and forming vows. There are several ways to measure kalpas. Increasing and decreasing kalpas is the one that is most often heard of. Sakyamuni Buddha said that in the Saha world, the shortest lifespan of humans averages about 10 years. At this point, the suffering in this Saha world is tremendously intense. Every 100 years, the lifespan increases by 1 year, until the lifespan reaches 84,000 years. Then subsequently, every 100 years, the lifespan decreases by 1 year, until the lifespan is again down to 10 years. One cycle of an increasing and a decreasing lifespan is a small kalpa. 20 small kalpas make up 1 medium kalpa. 4 medium kalpas make up 1 great kalpa. The kalpas mentioned in the Mahayana Sutras refer to great kalpas. Dharmakara Bhiksu spent such a long time cultivating that he was able to truly take in all the strengths of all the Buddha lands and reject the shortcomings. He thoroughly understood all the merits and adornments of the 21 kotis of Buddha lands as thoroughly as he understood one Buddha land. The Buddha land he created surpassed all Buddha lands. 21 is not an actual number. It represents perfection. For example, in the Amitabha Sutra, the number 7 represents perfection. It signifies the 4 directions, the zenith, the nadir, and center. In the Avatamsaka Sutra, 10 is used to represent perfection. Counting from 1 to 10. 10 is a complete and perfect number. 10 tens is 100, also a complete number. Tibetan Buddhism uses 16 and 21 to represent perfection. The Buddha land he created surpassed all Buddha lands. The Buddha land he created refers to the land of ultimate bliss that he established. All Buddha lands refers to the 21 kotis of Buddha lands. The Western Pure Land is an amalgamation of the wonderful strengths of all the Buddha lands. It has all the strengths of the Buddha lands and is free of all the shortcomings. Naturally, it surpasses all these Buddha lands and fulfills Dharmakara's great vows. This sentence from the excerpt is saying that the land of ultimate bliss has been created. The prerequisite for rebirth in the Western Pure Land is a pure mind. When the mind is pure, the land will be pure. The Buddha taught us to cultivate a pure mind with belief, vow, and practice. True belief, sincerely vowing, and single-mindedly chanting, Amma Tuofo, will help us suppress wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments. In doing so, we will meet the initial standards for purity and be reborn in the Pure Land, in the land where sages and ordinary beings dwell together.